The prospect of a direct meeting between Russia's Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelenskyy has ignited intense debate. And here's the catch. Putin insists that such a face-to-face could only happen if Zelenskyy agrees to come to Moscow. This bold condition was announced by Putin during a press conference following the Victory Day parade in Beijing, where he revealed that U.S. President Donald Trump had proposed the two leaders come together to discuss ending the brutal conflict in Ukraine. Putin calmly stated, "I said yes, it was possible. Let him come to Moscow," signaling openness but with a very specific demand. However, the Russian president also cast doubt over the entire idea by questioning the legitimacy of Zelenskyy's presidency. "I've never excluded the possibility of meeting with him, but does it make sense to meet with him?" he asked rhetorically. Despite his reservations, Putin added that he would not refuse a meeting if it could produce any positive outcomes. And this is the part most people miss. The Kremlin frequently brings up the claim that Zelenskyy's presidential term has expired, citing Ukraine's inability to hold elections amid war and partial territorial occupation. This legal and political argument complicates the narrative and raises a controversial question. Can a war-torn country under invasion participate fully in its democracy? Unsurprisingly, Ukraine's response was firm and dismissive. Andriy Sybiha, Ukraine's foreign minister, publicly rejected the Moscow venue for negotiations in a post on X, highlighting that 7 other countries had already offered to host peace talks, labeling these offers as serious proposals. Sybiha accused Putin of messing around with everyone by making knowingly unacceptable proposals, insisting that only increased international pressure will push Russia toward taking the peace process seriously. Context is key here. These latest remarks from Putin come after a series of diplomatic efforts led by Trump in August. Trump facilitated a sequence of high-profile meetings, including a summit with Putin in Alaska and subsequently a gathering with Zelenskyy and European and NATO leaders in Washington. Yet, despite these efforts, the Alaska meeting yielded no immediate breakthroughs. Trump admitted at the time, "We didn't get there, but we have a good chance to get there," reflecting cautious optimism yet undeniable frustration. The U.S. president has since amplified his push for a resolution, promising substantial security guarantees for Ukraine as part of any peace agreement. Europe, he emphasized, remains the first line of defense against further escalations. Meanwhile, Moscow's aggressive military campaign persists unabated. For months, Russia has rebuffed direct talks with Zelenskyy for several stated reasons: unfinished preparations, questioning Zelenskyy's legitimacy, and denying any prior agreement to meet. Yuri Ushakov, a Kremlin foreign policy advisor present at the Alaska meeting, confirmed there was no commitment from Putin to meet the Ukrainian leader. Putin's stance hardened during his speech at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit in Tianjin, where he pointed fingers at the West and NATO as the root causes of Russia's all-out war on Ukraine. He justified the 2022 full-scale invasion by referencing the 2014 Euromaidan protests that ousted Yanukovych, a Kremlin ally, calling it a coup supported by Western powers. Additionally, Putin accused the West of persistently trying to pull Ukraine into NATO, a claim he has made frequently, though evidence has never been firmly provided. On the ground, the conflict remains brutal and deadly. Russia's forces launched a massive overnight barrage, striking multiple Ukrainian regions with more than 500 drones and about 24 missiles. Simultaneously, Moscow has escalated its summer offensive in eastern Ukraine, aiming to seize full control of the Donetsk region, underscoring the dire humanitarian and strategic stakes still at play. Here's a question worth considering. Does Putin's condition that Zelenskyy must come to Moscow for talks reflect genuine intent to negotiate peace, or is it a strategic move to exert pressure and assert dominance? What might this mean for the future of Ukraine's sovereignty and the broader international effort to resolve this devastating conflict. We invite you to share your thoughts. Do you see room for a real breakthrough, or is this just another power play masked as diplomacy?